Lisi. The NCAA sent a letter of inquiry to Cincinnati centered on former quarterback Brendan Sorsby's time with that program. Sorsby ruled permanently ineligible by the NCAA this spring after admitting to placing thousands of impermissible sports bets over the past 4 years. He spent 2 seasons with the Bearcats before transferring to Texas Tech. 3 teams stand above the rest when it comes to LeBron James' NBA free agency decision. ESPN's Shams Charania reports they are the Cavaliers, Heat, and 76ers. The Eastern Conference certainly a better situation, believes NBA.com senior writer Steve Ashburner.
Just because the West is so deep. So if you were to go to a Denver or a Minnesota, is that going to put them over the top against San Antonio and Oklahoma City? I don't know. That's a heavier lift as I see it. Whereas in the East, my personal, and I guess it's a sentimental favorite, if he could go to Cleveland.
Ashburner on the Rich Eisen show. James will not be making a decision quickly. Justin Verlander, the 3-time Cy Young winner, Tigers righty, announced he'll retire after this MLB season.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com. From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN.
All grooves.
And the ESPN
Matt
studio in New
Moscona.
York.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, welcome in. After further review, AFR here on a Wednesday presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona, Luke Foster, Paul O'Neill along for the ride, and we are fired up to have you along for the ride here as well. Good show coming up for you here today, man. Number 1 player in the transfer portal, LSU LSU outfielder, I should say, Bino Watters will be on the show at 4:15. Fired up for that conversation with Bino. Dalton Wasserman will be with us here in about 13 or so minutes. Get Dalton's thoughts. He was part of the team that put together the top 50 college football players for Pro Football Focus. 3 LSU guys on the list. We talked about that a little earlier in the week. Circle back with Dalton. Get his thoughts on LSU, but really the SEC and kind of college football as a whole as it relates to that list. So looking forward to those 2 conversations here a little bit later on in the show. One NFL draft analyst had some of the highest praise for Sam Leavitt. So we'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. And we got a bunch of recruiting updates to get to here as well. It's funny. We had Shay on yesterday joking about dead period. And here we are yet again, just another day with a couple different recruiting tidbits. So we got a bunch to get to, and we'll go ahead and start the show as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
And we will start with, one of those recruiting updates. So when we had Shay Dixon on the show with us Tuesday, we covered a lot, talked about Jaden Andy and that commitment, how he fits, LSU safety room, all of those things. We talked to Shay about the proposal, or the framework, I should say, for a potential legal tampering period in college football. And then as we were getting out of that interview, asked Shay, all right, here we are, it's July, things typically, there's no more OVs, you're in a dead period when it comes to that. But what are we watching the rest of the month? If there's one thing you had to pick that we needed to know that we were watching for the rest of the month, what was it? And Shay said, we're on 5-star watch. And included in that is Easton Royal, but really included in that is Jalen Brewster. And that's what I want to talk about here to start the show. Brewster, over the last couple of weeks now, let's say the last week and a half, there's really been a lot of smoke around LSU flipping the number 1 player in the class of 2027 away from Texas Tech and into their own class for 2027. Defensive tackle, again, number 1 player basically Lamar Brown from a year ago. Now, Lamar Brown's going to end up playing edge at LSU, but you understand, that's what you're dealing with here. He's committed to Texas Tech, has been since last year. But LSU has turned up the heat, and where there's smoke, there's fire. And when I say smoke, there's smoke, and it's not just from the LSU side. It is national smoke as well. Steve Wiltfong last week, we talked to Shay about this when he was with us on the show last week. Steve Wiltfong last week sat down with Jalen Brewster's father and got him on the record about the recruitment and the push LSU was making, and he was extremely complimentary and gave a bunch of high praise to not only Lane Kiffin and Kevin Peoples, but also Ed Ogeron, and that's really where this started. So Jalen Brewster made his official visit to LSU the same week that Ed Ogeron was hired. Remember, there was the picture that kind of went viral of those two outside of Mike the Tiger's cage, and it was that really kind of put this into overdrive for LSU, and ever since then, it's just gone further and further and further. So Wilt Fong talking to Jalen Brewster's father, who is a major player in this recruitment. Like, that is kind of the guy leading the charge in Jalen Brewster's family on where this decision goes as well. So getting him on the record and the high praise he had for LSU staff, including Coach O, that was massive. Last week as well, Inside Texas, which is Texas's On3 account, sent out a report citing a source in Dallas-Fort Worth that Jalen Brewster and Texas Tech were going to mutually part ways, and that LSU was the leader at that point to flip him. Now, obviously, there's been no decision made, but that just gives you the scope really over the last week and a half from the national standpoint of the steam that this is picking up. We talked to Shay Dixon about it last week. We talked with Shay this week about Jalen Brewster. And then today, over at On3 the Bengal Tiger, Shay had another update titled 5 Reasons LSU has a Realistic Shot to Flip 5-Star Jalen Brewster. And Shay goes through a bunch of things. He talks about the communication with LSU and Jalen Brewster, not only holding steady, but increasing, how the relationships continue to be furthered, and how they're stronger than ever. Finish line is approaching. That's something that I really kind of want to talk about, because when we had Shay on Tuesday of this week, and we were talking about being on 5-Star watching Royal and Brewster, Shay said that he would put it at a better than 50% chance, right now, that Jalen Brewster makes this decision public, whether he's going to stick with Texas Tech or flip to LSU by the start of fall camp. So you're looking at the rest of July and maybe right into August. Why? Well, because LSU and Texas Tech are going to go into fall camp. I'd like to have that decision made, but also Jalen Brewster is going into fall camp, at his high school and going into his senior year. And you see all the time these players wanting that to be done, wanting to get that done, enjoy their senior year, chase a state title, all of those things, sign early in December and move on to the next phase, of their football career. So a better than 50% chance we know the decision come fall camp, whether he sticks with Texas Tech or flips to LSU. That's from Shay Dixon yesterday when he was on this show. Now you look at this and you say, all right, they're continuing the conversations. There's mutual interest from both sides. That was one of the interesting things in Shay's update today, is that both sides are initiating conversation, which, you can never go wrong there. That shows the interest is real and the interest is mutual. The thing I will say, though, is this is a player who is committed to Texas Tech and has had every opportunity to come out and say, yeah, I'm committed to Texas Tech. We're shutting it down. That's where I'm going to be. And he hasn't. And that's another thing that shows you how real that interest is with LSU. And I would tell you, just from, watching recruiting, like most of you do, the longer something like this goes on, while a player is committed to a school, that can only be good for the team he's considering flipping to. Like, the longer this goes on, you have to feel that favors LSU, because it just drags out the process and it allows LSU to continue to strengthen the relationship. And it's not just the coaches. You got Lamar Brown tweeting at Jalen Brewster. Tweeting him, come on, man. Come on. Come play with me. Come play with Richard Anderson. Come play with Deuce Geralds. Look at the defensive line class we signed last year. The 4 of us, we can be the future. Well, that's a future you really get excited about thinking. You really get excited thinking about, I should say. But it's everything. It's a full court press from LSU. And the longer this goes on, the longer they can keep that full court press on. And again, the interest is clearly there. Otherwise, it's a guy who's been committed not to A&M. It's been committed. It's a guy that's been committed to Texas Tech for over a year, or at least since last year. And the flirtation continues. So this has really picked up steam from his official visit and the addition of Coach O. And it has been pushed kind of into overdrive, it feels like, the last week and a half, where you look up and it feels like you have a Jalen Brewster LSU update almost daily at this point. So it's something to absolutely watch. It's something that we will keep watching. And you don't think it's a real possibility that LSU flips him? I had news for you. You're not paying attention, because it's more than a real possibility that LSU flips him. Hopefully we'll know something by the start of fall camp. That'll be done. Now, again, number one player. You probably see this go all the way to signing day, just because no one's going to stop. I mean, he's committed right now. No one stopped, right? So it very much feels like this is come down to LSU, Texas Tech. We just await the final decision. Hopefully we'll have that here in the next couple of weeks or so as LSU gears up, and Texas Tech for that matter, gear up for fall camp. We could put some of this to bed. But LSU's got the full court press on. They're in overdrive. He is their only priority on the defensive line right now, and at the defensive tackle position. That's another thing working in their favor. So we'll keep you updated, obviously, as that continues to progress. I'm sure we'll, hell, at this rate, we might have an update tomorrow on it as well. But LSU, they are in full pursuit of Jalen Brewster, and looks like things are trending pretty well right now for your Fighting Tigers of LSU. We'll keep you posted there. All right, we're going to grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. It is a Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. When we get back, Dalton Wasserman, he's going to hop aboard Pro Football Focus, their top 50 players in college football ahead of the 2026 season. We'll get Dalton's thoughts and how it shapes the landscape of this upcoming year. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. Go to DuplessisPools.com and start building your dream pool today. DuplessisPools.com. Hat tip to my friend Derek Duplessis and the great staff, as for the second consecutive year, Duplessis Pools was named a top 50 pool builder in America by Pool & Spa magazine. As a matter of fact, Duplessis Pools was the only pool builder in the state of Louisiana to receive that honor. DuplessisPools.com is the website, DuplessisPools.com. Yesterday was awesome. Me, Erica, Drew spent part of our Sunday cooling off in the pool. Might have had a cold Bud Light or two. It's a great way to spend those summer days. Great way to have parties, showpiece. That dream can be your reality as well. But start at DuplessisPools.com. You can design your pool online. You can finance it online. Pay for it right now. It's DuplessisPools.com. Check them out online. It's DuplessisPools.com.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team
that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
At Parrish, we bring the same commitment to your home that champions bring to the game.
Do business with someone you know.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
My name's Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, we roll along here after further review on a Wednesday, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona. Set to be joined here by Dalton Wasserman. We had him on the line. Call drop, so we're going to call him back real quick, get him on the line. In the meantime, though, want to have Dalton on. Pro Football Focus, they do it every year. They go with all their metrics and they craft, top 50 college players ahead of the 2026 season. Dalton was part of that process. It was him and Matt Chadwick. They also host a podcast together. So figured we'd get Dalton on, and they unveiled it kind of each day throughout. This started back in June, and they finished it late last week. So just kind of coordinate with Dalton to get him on, and today's the way it went. There's 3 LSU players on there that we'll get Dalton's thoughts on, but really kind of want to look at this with him as well, just from a college football standpoint, SEC and abroad, mixing in the LSU. We have Dalton now with us. Of course, you can get him on Twitter, X at CFB Dalton. I think we have Dalton now. Dalton, can you hear me? Okay, I think go ahead, call him back. Call him back one more time. I don't know what's going on there. Give it one more opportunity, or and see if we can get him on the horn here. So sorry about that. There's a few technical difficulties. We kind of went through this a little bit earlier in the week. Sam Leavitt, Jordan Seaton, and Trades Green were the 3 LSU players, obviously, that made this list from Pro Football Focus. One thing I found really interesting that I really hope we can get this set with Dalton is when it came to quarterbacks, the first SEC quarterback didn't appear until number 9 on the list. And I think we all look at the SEC right now, and Manning and Chambliss and so on, Leavitt, so on and so forth, and we look at it and go, think it's probably a pretty good quarterback class. So, all right, I think we have Dalton now. Dalton, can you hear me? Why does it keep dropping? Okay. I guess calling back one more time. I'm drowning here right now. Okay. One moment. All right, we're going to try with Dalton one more time. Again, apologies here. But, like I was saying, I think with the quarterback, we all look at the SEC. It was a really good quarterback league. Look what you have. And again, that's not even counting Gunnar Stockton, right? I mean, you have Marcel Reed, veteran guy coming back. So that was just interesting to me to see them kind of land a little bit later on in this list. But I think we're gonna connect with Dalton here. Let's see. All right, Dalton, can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
All right, man. Sorry about that. Very much appreciate you you taking the time today. Dalton Wasserman's with us, co-host of the Preferred Walk-On podcast. The Preferred Walk-On College Football Show. It's him and Max Chadwick. They also do some work from Pro Football Focus, and that's why we have Dalton on here. Pro Football Focus released their top 50 college football players ahead of the 2026 season. Dalton, before we dive in, can you give us a little insight on how y'all use the PFF metrics and everything to compile this list?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different factors that go into it, and basically Max and I just kind of sit down in a room and kind of parse through all of them, right, and figure out between the grades and the, things like wins above average and, yards and touchdowns and all the basic stats and then the general impact the guy has on his team. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and narrowing it down to 50 for the entire country is a tough task, but feel like we did as well as we could on it and, kind of let the critics have their way with it.
So I want to ask you about the 3 LSU guys that are on there, but I'm going to come back to that because one of the things that did strike me was the first SEC quarterback appeared at number 9 with Arch Manning. I think it's easy to look at this SEC quarterback class and see Manning and Chambliss and Leavitt and Reed, and Gunnar Stockton. I was a little surprised by that. How do you view this SEC quarterback class in 2026?
I mean, it's clearly very talented. All those guys you just mentioned, not even to name, guys like Lenora Sellers at South Carolina and, Byron Brown at Auburn. I mean, there's so many great players who have put up huge numbers over the last few years. John Mateer looking for a bounce back as well. But, I feel really good about the supporting cast, especially that Arch Manning has and the way that he played the second half last year. Trinidad Chambliss, obviously, with what he did throughout the season and deep into the playoff last year for Ole Miss. And, I mean, it's such a good group. It's a really athletic group. There are a lot of dual threat players like Manning and those other guys and Mateer and Sellers. So I think you have guys who are going to put up a lot of big-time numbers, and it's just going to depend on which team built the supporting cast the best around him.
In putting this list together, did it confirm or deny any assertion you may have had about a team heading into the 2026 season?
I mean, there's a few that stick out, right? I mean, you've got some major pieces at Texas like Manning and Cam Coleman and Colin Simmons, right? The Oregon Ducks out there in the Big Ten are absolutely loaded. I think we got 3 of their 4 starting defensive linemen in that mix, as well as Dante Moore and Jamari Johnson, a great tight end that they have, and they got a lot of other great players on that team. Ohio State, as usual, is loaded with Julian Sand and Jeremiah Smith near the very top. But, I mean, you got some talented teams. I also think it's a pretty wide-open national title race, and that list is pretty indicative of that, right? When you talk about a bunch of SEC teams that are capable, probably about 3 teams in the Big Ten that are capable, right? Miami down in the ACC, they're as loaded as ever. So I think when you're talking about a wide-open race that doesn't have a clear favorite, that's what you're looking at here.
Let's dive into some of the LSU guys. Sam Leavitt was the highest ranked for LSU. It came in at number 41. Obviously coming off the injury, and I mean, down year because of that a year ago. He's fully cleared now per LSU. What is a fair expectation for Sam Leavitt? Like, what are you watching for from the Tiger signal caller?
Look, he's as physically gifted as any quarterback in the country, right? You look at his rushing ability, the ability to escape the pocket with his legs. You look at as much arm talent, especially as loose and, odd that he can give you the delivery from those odd angles outside the pocket. He's got as much talent as anybody. He's just got to clean up the footwork and the accuracy. And last year what he fell into at Arizona State was just trying to really carry the offense too much by himself, right? Kind of do the Patrick Mahomes thing and do everything feeling like he's got to save the team every play. So I think Lane and Charlie Weiss, they're just going to have to figure out how to get him to play a little more often within the structure of the offense. We know he can do special things outside of the pocket, but the ability to play on time and have clean footwork and put the ball where it's supposed to be accurately, that's what you're looking for. If he does that, again, he's as talented as anybody in the country. He could be in the Heisman race.
Jordan Seaton was the next LSU Tiger on there at 43, which I think Dalton, just to be honest, caught a lot of LSU fans off guard. I mean, you look at all the mocks and whatnot at this point. And I know the draft is way off, and a mock draft isn't worth the paper it's printed on. But you're seeing Jordan Seaton a lot in the first round. Why did you check in at 43?
Honestly, you just got to round out the game a little bit more. He's as good and athletic a pass protector as we have in the country. Just got to get better in the run game, honestly. When you look at the last 2 years of Colorado, and that's not just him, that's that entire Colorado team was basically incapable of running the football, and the offensive line was a big part of that. So, if we feel like he can get a little bit stronger in his true junior year and he can improve, especially that LSU run game that struggled last year, if we see a big improvement on that offensive line, Seaton will probably be a big reason for it. But the pass protection gets him into the top 50. What kept him out of, say, maybe the top 20 was just the run blocking. Got to be a little bit better up front in that department.
Then, of course, Tre'Dez Green came in at 49. People love to talk about Tre'Dez Green, so I'll just leave it open for you to do that, Dalton. Tre'Dez Green, go.
I mean, 6'7" guys are not supposed to be that athletic and have that, that level of catch radius in the hands and all the things that he gives you, especially down in the red zone. And I think he's going to get unlocked even more with a more stable offense, a fast-paced offense that's going to put him all over the formation, give him one-on-one matchups. We've seen it with Lane Kiffin before. He's had some talented tight ends. Daquan Wright at Ole Miss last year was really good, but Green is freakish, man. I mean, you talk about a guy who can win one-on-one matchups, get down the seam, get to the back corner, whatever you need him to do. I think Kiffin's going to have a lot of fun utilizing him because he's really the big size threat in that system. Got to get a little better as a blocker for the NFL game. But in this wide-open system with the tempo they run it, Green's going to be a serious problem for opposing defenses.
Chatting with Dalton Wasserman, of course, on Twitter X at CFB_Dalton, co-host of the Preferred Walk-On CFB show, does some work with Pro Football Focus as well. Dalton, when you put together a list like this, you kind of mentioned it right off the top of the interview here. Man, it's hard to whittle it down to 50. Who are some of the guys who just missed out that we need to keep an eye on here as 2026 progresses?
Man, I almost got to go back through and see. I mean, the quarterbacks especially were so stacked. I mean, there was a handful of quarterbacks that you feel like really, within our 8 to 14 range on our quarterbacks list, right? I think about guys like Noah Fafito, who's been so good for so long in Arizona. Think about a guy like Drew Mestemaker and even his number one receiver, Wyatt Young at Oklahoma State, coming up from North Texas. I think that could be a very explosive offense this coming season. So I think, a big theme really for college football this year and for next year's draft has been, man, look at all of the quarterbacks, look at all of them, and there's always breakout stars, but some of those kind of stick out to me, especially when you talk about guys like Fafita or Mestemaker or even a Bear Bachmeier from BYU. Those guys are all emerging stars at that position.
All right, Dalton, I have one more for you in regards to the SEC. And I ask this just because, man, they're not really getting any headlines, but I'm scrolling this list, and I just see player after player from the University of Georgia. Is Georgia somehow underrated so far this offseason?
I think it's just because they're not the team that always makes the big splashy moves in the transfer portal, and they don't have the controversy that's surrounded teams like LSU and Texas Tech and all of that. It's almost like they're so good we take them for granted, right? But you're going to get the constants from Georgia, right? They're going to get solid quarterback play. They're going to have a really good run game. They're going to have a top 10 defense in the country. The back seven on defense is outstanding. And really, when it comes to Georgia, you kind of take them for granted, just going, okay, they're going to be among the final 8 teams standing, and we'll see if this year they can finish it off. But I think there are some real questions about, the receiving core. There's not a lot of proven production there. Can they be explosive enough in the passing game? Do they have enough of a pass rush on their defensive line, or are they going to have to manufacture that? So they're really strong. They're going to win at least 10 games again, and it's one of those things you almost chalk up. In a world of variables in college football, Georgia is one of the very few constants, and I think this time of year, people are finding a reason to not pick Georgia to go a long way or to win the whole thing, and as always, they're going to be right there in it.
Well, picking Georgia kind of actually seems like the safe bet. I'd go out of my way kind of to pick Georgia. I feel like at this point they're going for 3 SEC titles in a row, or Kirby Smart's Bulldogs. And I'm sure he's very happy that nobody's talking about his team as they just kind of lie in wait. Dalton Wasserman on Twitter X at CFB_Dalton. Pardon me. On Twitter X at CFB_Dalton. Preferred Walk-On CFB show. Get him over there. And also a contributor of Pro Football Focus. Dalton, we appreciate the time, man. Thank you for hanging with us during the technical difficulties again. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate you as always. Thank you.
Of course, that is Dalton Wasserman. It's After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness here on a Wednesday. Musso in for Moscona. Moscona will be back on Monday. We got to go around the SEC still. There's another development in the Brendan Sorsby saga, although this one doesn't have anything to do with Texas Tech. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on here in the hour as well. But before we hit the break, AFR is brought to you by Rouse's.
Summer is here, which means beach vacations, barbecues, backyard pool days, whatever you got going on. Make sure you celebrate with our friends at Rouse's, no matter what you're looking for. Meat or fish to throw on the grill. Maybe you want some cold drinks for the adults or the kids. Chips and dips and all the servings and sides. Rouse's is your spot with 76 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. You're never far from a Rouse's location. And one of the things I love most is Rouse's always does their best to make sure they source local products. You want local Louisiana products and ingredients, you'll get them at Rouse's. Whether you're making groceries, a quick stop to pick up something for dinner, or a day at the pool, make sure you make Rouse's part of your summer every day. Find the Rouse's nearest you. You can shop the weekly ads online at rouses.com, rouses.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
All right, we'll grab a break here. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC stuff to get to Bino Watters, LSU outfielder and #1 player in the transfer portal. He's going to join the show a little bit later on there in the second hour, so you have to leave. Come back for that. Looking forward to that chat with Bino. I mean, he is kind of the linchpin of that LSU transfer portal class. So we still have to get to that as well. Right now, we'll grab a break, come back. Around the SEC is next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources. If you are a business owner, if you're an HR manager, a VP, an ops manager, if you're the person in charge of hiring at your job, at your place of business, and you're having trouble finding the right people, you need Glow Resources. Now, I want to remind you, Glow Resources, they're exceptional when it comes to skilled blue-collar workers and also white-collar divisions. Remember, Glow Resources has a full professional placement division. So we're talking about office administrators, executive-level assistants, assistant controllers, plant managers, scheduling assistants, basically any type of office job. Accounting, HR, marketing, managerial, supervisor roles. If you're having trouble finding those people and sometimes hard to fill roles, Glow Resources specialize. They recruit nationwide. For example, they had a Baton Rouge company that was looking for an engineer. They found the employee in Florida to work the job in California. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online today. GLO, glowresources.com.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that. And taking those relationships and expanding out into the community just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at Decision Critical BR.
Need a steel building? Proform Steel. I want you to remember the name. Why use Proform Steel? Well, I got tons of reasons. Here's a few. How about the lead times? 6 to 8 weeks from signed contract out the door. they'll get it to you quicker. Free delivery on every building. You buy it from them, they'll deliver it for free. It's Proform Steel. You can even order online. You can pick the style, size, color, doors, submit the form, get a call back the same day. And at Proform Steel, they use American-made materials on everything. No exceptions. It's Proform Steel. Maybe you need a shed in your backyard. Maybe we're talking about a big industrial facility. Need a steel building? You want Proform Steel. Make sure you call Brandon Golson, you know the name, at Proform Steel. Check them out, Proform Steel.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Well, the CSC and the NIL Clearinghouse, NIL Go, they've released another update on the numbers from NIL deals that they've accepted and, approved and rejected since their inception back in June of last year, 2025. So the rejected dollar amount has now gone up to $90 million. So since June 11th, 2025, when NIL Go, the CSC, all of that, the clearinghouse was launched, they've rejected $90 million in NIL deals. Contrast that to an approval of $355 million. So again, the majority of these deals that are going through, they're getting pushed, that are being submitted are getting pushed through this clearinghouse. Could they do things a little bit faster? Sure. But the majority of the deals are still getting pushed through, which isn't surprising. Now, of course, the deals have to be over $600 for submission, to NIL Go. But that's interesting. If you just look at the most recent 61-day period, May 1st through June 30th of this year, 34 million of those $90 million deals were rejected. That's where 34 million of that came, was just in the 61-day period, but also $113 million in deals were cleared. So, it is still the vast majority. What's interesting is the average deal that was approved during the 61 days was $14,792. The average deal that was rejected was slightly over $51,500. So you're not talking about, there's big deals, there's small deals. You average them out, obviously. But it's also, and only 2 deals are in arbitration. That's the other part of this. Why it's such a vast disparity in what has been approved and rejected is deals get rejected and then they're available for resubmission. A lot of it is it's just there's a little bit of issue with the deal and how it's written with the NCAA bylaws, and you can go and correct that and resubmit it, and the problems are normally worked out. So again, could it be a swifter process? Sure. But for its purpose, it's hard not to look at it and say that it's not working. The majority of these deals are getting pushed through. They just need more employees and need to move this along, a little bit faster, but I wouldn't expect that to happen. It's always going to be a slow and grinding process, but as long as the deals are getting approved when it's all said and done, I don't think you're going to hear much gripe. All right, we're going to go around the SEC here in a moment, but first, Relief Windows. Great sponsor.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. When we talk about Relief Windows every day, I always say windows, doors, siding, and now shutters as well. They do your indoor shutters. Same thing as the windows. Custom made, measured to fit your windows, custom fit for your windows, lifetime warranty on your windows, your shutters. But Brandon, you often hear say their number one product is customer satisfaction. And that's not just a catchy line. That's not a cliche phrase. Have an experience with Relief Windows and you'll understand. They go to the ends of the earth to make sure their customers are thrilled with the work they do. As a matter of fact, Relief Windows never takes $1 from you. You will not, no deposit, no down payment. They take all the risk. They will not take a dollar until you're thrilled with the work they do. Who else does that? Only Relief Windows. Check them out online at reliefwindows.com.
All right, it's out further review here on a Wednesday. Musso in for Moscona. Let's go ahead and knock it out. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Florida Gators.
Florida, they picked up a commitment from four-star cornerback Raheem Floyd. That was Tuesday evening. He made that announcement, made multiple trips to Gainesville. Number 22 cornerback and number 170 overall prospect in the class of 2027. Finished his most recent high school season with 55 tackles and 1 pick, 26th commit for the current Gator class.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
South Carolina has received their first commitment for the 2028 signing class. That is wide receiver Joseph Jet Gibbs. He's really fast, hence the nickname. Committed to the Gamecocks on Tuesday evening. Again, said first commitment for the 2028 cycle. Florida, Kentucky, NC State, Rutgers, Vandy, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, all had offers on the table. 6'1", 187-pounder, number 60th ranked wide receiver in the nation, number 10 prospect in the state of North Carolina. He'll be a Gamecock.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama, they also got a commitment for the class of 2028. That is in-state linebacker Raekwon Butler. He announced that decision Tuesday evening to join the Tide. He also held P4 offers from Tennessee, Auburn, Mississippi State, Vandy, Ole Miss, Florida State, and more. Currently unranked by rivals, but with that offer list and a commit to Alabama, he obviously won't be unranked very much longer. He is actually the 4th commit for Kalen DeBoer in Alabama for the class of 2028. Multitasking going on over there in T-Town.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss baseball scored a win in the transfer portal. That is Sacramento State left-handed pitcher Sean Carey. Made that news public here on Wednesday morning. Chose the Rebels over rival Mississippi State. 6'2", 180-pounder. 41 innings a year ago. 64 punch-outs. Really good arm that they just got. Tied Sacramento State for the most appearances on that team. Had an ERA of 4.5, a 3-2 record, and 2 saves. We know how good that Sacramento State pitching staff was. They came here, won a series, and shut down the LSU offense.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And a quick note here, Arkansas basketball, their Thanksgiving Day matchup against Michigan State has officially now been announced. That was made official Wednesday. Razorbacks and Spartans, they'll tip off Thanksgiving Day, 3:30 Central at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. It's part of the CBS Sports Thanksgiving Day Classic. It will follow Bears-Lions. Second year in a row, the Hogs and the Spartans will play. They played in East Lansing a year ago. Sparty won that one 69-66. The game in East Lansing, part of a home-and-home series. John Calipari says the plan is for Michigan State to play at Bud Walton Arena in the 2027-2028 season. So last year in East Lansing, now a quote-unquote neutral site game in Detroit on Thanksgiving, and then next season, Michigan State will make the return trip to Bud Walton. There you have it. That is Around the SEC here on a Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Your Goodwood, Goodwood Men's Sectional Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. We'll grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. Close out hour number 1, the latest in the story of the summer that just won't die. Yeah, that's right. We have more Brendan Sorsby news. That's next on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Yes, hormone replacement therapy. Yes, NAD+. Yes, BPC 157. Yes, ED treatment. The bottom line is, gentlemen, I don't care how old you are. It's about how old you feel. And do you want to feel like you did when you were younger? Do you want to live a more vital life? Do you want to live a more energetic life where you wake up in the morning, your feet hit the floor, and you're rip-roaring ready to go, where you're motivated to get in the gym, where you have a great libido, where you have great mindset, energy, mental clarity, memory, all that sort of stuff? It's possible. It's affordable. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you do it. Hormone replacement therapy could be a giant part of that for you. NAD Plus can literally help your cellular optimization to make you younger at a cellular level. BPC 157, tremendous in helping in recovery. Learn more. yourgoodwood.com.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team
that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit Louisiana Propane.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, commercial or residential. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration, I love the process, by the way. If you go to the website at parishrestoration.com, you can see videos of their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. So you see exactly what it looks like. Very cool. But they have fogged, over at Parish Restoration, they fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. So it doesn't matter if it's your office building, your church, whatever it may be, school, or your home. They can even fog your car. Maybe your car has a weird odor, musty smell. Maybe you bought a used car from a smoker and you can't get that smoky smell out. This will do it. They'll come while you're at work, fog it. By the time you're done with work for the day, boom, you're back in a clean-smelling, fresh-smelling vehicle. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Do business with someone you know. parishrestoration.com.
So while this entire Brendan Sorsby saga was going on with Texas Tech, and boy, didn't that last a long time, one of the questions that was being asked is, all right, yeah, Texas Tech, they're obviously in the wrong here, and yet he should not be able to play. But hey, what about Cincinnati? All right, like the betting was happening there too, and he bet on his team when he was at Indiana and then went to Cincinnati. Anything gonna happen to them? And it really got ratcheted up even more when Brendan Sorsby's agent went on radio and Well, said, hey, Cincinnati knew about this. Like, they knew that this happened. Paraphrasing, but that's, basically what he said. Cincinnati was aware of his betting. They didn't get him help, and they let him play. And obviously, that's just going to ignite a firestorm. And now, the NCAA was made public Wednesday. Ross Dellinger was the first that I saw have it. He had a long piece up at Yahoo about Texas Tech and them smoothing over their reputation with the Big 12 and their, I don't care, whatever. But this nugget was in there. So I'll give credit to Ross. He was the first one that I saw with it. The NCAA has sent a letter of inquiry to Cincinnati centered around the former quarterback's time with the program. It's not an official opening of an investigation, but that is the first step. And now it's up to Cincinnati to respond to the NCAA's inquiry with all the documentation and evidence that they've probably requested in said inquiry so they can determine if an investigation is needed. For what it's worth, a Cincinnati spokesperson declined comment, but then provided a general station. So they declined to comment and then commented. Quote, we have had continuous conversations with the NCAA since the initial reports related to impermissible sports wagering began. As we have stated before, we do not believe any athletics official or staff member was aware of any impermissible sports wagering. Look, I'm not here to tell you what the NCAA is going to do if Cincinnati knew about this. Brendan Soares doesn't play there anymore. What are you going to do? Make them vacate their wins? Fine them? Do something along those lines? Take some scholarships? Okay, fine. I'm not going to sit here and, act like that's nothing and just hand wave it away. The vacating wins is nothing. We all watch the games. We know they happen. That's never been anything. It never will be. But if, they end up having to incur scholarship fines or things of that nature, that's significant for a program, obviously like Cincinnati, really any program. And what you might even see is revenue share penalties potentially there, right? That's an NCAA. The revenue share is an NCAA thing. That's the NCAA sharing revenue with those member institutions. Could you see a fine potentially there? Maybe. But my whole thing with Cincinnati is his time there's done. He's ineligible now. He won't play for Texas Tech. He'll go prepare for the draft, maybe play in the UFL, and then start his NFL career. Because a team is going to eventually take a chance on him. Where they give up draft capital, which I don't know if they're going to, or they sign him as a UDFA. He's going to get an opportunity in the NFL, and that's great. So my whole thing kind of with the Cincinnati thing is, all right, yeah, like if they knew and they knowingly played an ineligible player, then yeah, some consequences involved there. I'll leave that up to the NCAA. And while they're pretty much powerless against players now, because, temporary injunctions and of the sort of there, the NCAA goes to court against the player, they lose. They obviously still have authority over their member institutions and can punish them as they see fit. So it's worth noting, and it'll be worth following this portion of this as well, now that Cincinnati has officially been served a notice of inquiry from the NCAA. Will that result in an investigation? Probably. But what comes of it? I don't know. And, is it really anything of consequence? I could imagine the penalties would be pretty stiff. Just given the fact that it's the one rule, right? That's the one thing that everybody all agrees on. Can't do that. And if you knowingly played him, given his history, that's a big problem. And the NCAA could come down pretty hard, I would imagine, on Cincinnati in the future of that program with restrictions, like we said, scholarships, rev share, all of that. So something to monitor, just the latest involvement, or the latest evolvement, I should say, I guess, of Brendan Sorsby and his saga that has just dominated really the sports news cycle here in the fall, not just in the summer, I should say, not just the college football news cycle. So there you go. You're up to date with the very latest. All right. That's just about going to do it here for hour number 1 of AFR. Bino Watters, LSU outfielder, number 1 player in the transfer portal. He's set to join the show here with us in about 30 minutes or so from right now. So stick around for that. When we get back, we'll switch gears to the New Orleans Saints. We haven't touched on the Saints yet today, so we'll switch gears with the New Orleans Saints. Breakout player on the defensive side. One national analyst took a stab at it. Guy he picked might surprise you. We'll look into it, break it down, see if we agree, disagree. What would a breakout for this guy mean? We'll tell you all about it next here on AFR Sports Center. It'll get you caught up on your national headlines. Then we're back for hour 2. It's a Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com. Hour 2 is next.
After further review.
We're running about First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Hey, remember, always encourage you to go to the website, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. If you're a farmer, no doubt you know about First South Farm Credit because they've been helping farmers buy agriculture land for more than 100 years. But if it's maybe it's that hunting property, maybe it's just your recreational property in Mississippi, maybe you want to go buy a ranch in Montana. They can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. Buying land is different than buying a home. You know that. So trust the people who have helped Louisianans buy land for more than 100 years. First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. One more time, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. Trusted by champions, built for Louisiana.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with RevFiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. RevFiber. Visit RevFiber.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NCAA sent a letter of inquiry to Cincinnati centered on former quarterback Brendan Sorsby's time with that program. Sorsby ruled permanently ineligible by the NCAA this spring after admitting to placing thousands of impermissible sports bets over the past 4 years. He spent 2 seasons with the Bearcats before transferring to Texas Tech. Jason Tatum finally broke his public silence on the abrupt ending of his longtime partnership with former Celtics co-star Jalen Brown. Tatum said Brown's trade to the 76ers was tough, but he's proud of what they accomplished together. ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania.
It is a tale of 2 different people. And for the longest time, over 10 years, 9 years together, they both worked amazing on the court together. But over the last year or so, that personal relationship, it was as close to not existent as you could have, but on the court they were amazing, hard-working professionals together.
Shams on Mad Dog Sports Radio. 3-time Cy Young winner, 2-time World Series champ, and Tigers righty Justin Verlander announced that he will retire after this 2026 MLB season.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock! Woo!
Off and running hour number 2 after further review here on a Wednesday, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona. Luke Foster, Paul O'Neill along for the ride, and fired up to have you along for the ride as well. 1 hour down, 2 more to go here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. Jam-packed first hour. We had an update on Jalen Brewster and LSU's pursuit of him. Dalton Wasserman hopped on. Brendan Sorsby, another update there, as Cincinnati is now the target of the NCAA in this whole Sorsby saga. So we still have a ton to get to. Bino Watters, LSU, outfielder, number 1 player in the transfer portal. He'll be with us here in the next segment, right around 4:15 or so. Really looking forward to that conversation with one of the newest Tigers, who figures to play a massive role in 2027 for Jay Johnson and his squad. But we begin hour number 2 with some chatter about the New Orleans Saints. Ben Solak over at ESPN took a stab at picking a breakout player for all 32 teams in the NFL. When it came time for the New Orleans Saints, scroll down, you see Quincy Riley. Of course, Quincy Riley, mid-round draft pick there for the Saints a year ago, was a rookie last season, played in all 17 games, special teams and on defense, really emerged into a starting role defensively as well at one of the cornerback positions for the New Orleans Saints. All in all, you look up 35 tackles, 10 passes defensed, an interception, a good rookie year statistically for Quincy Riley. But if we actually look back, it wasn't always great for Riley in times. It's not always going to be for a rookie, especially at the cornerback position. There are going to be growing pains there, and he went through his fair share. It's interesting, though, looking at him as a potential breakout candidate for the Saints, because I think if you polled Saints fans, if you polled Saints media, who is the breakout player for the New Orleans Saints, you leave it open-ended like that, you might get some players on offense like, Jordan Tyson or whatnot. But if you conducted that poll and you focused it solely defense, I think the majority of them would tell you Jonas Sanker. I would tell you Jonas Sanker. He's filling the Alontae Taylor role. We saw the production that a guy like Alontae Taylor got out of that spot. Jonas Sanker, likewise, like Quincy Riley, was a 3rd-round pick last year, went through his rookie year, really shined, had some really nice moments. I think that'd be the majority of people's answers. That'd be my answer. So you look at it with Quincy Riley, and it's really interesting because there is some breakout potential there for Riley. I think what you have to ask yourself, though, is what does breakout look like? I think we all sit here, we see Quincy Riley's size. He's 5'11", sub 200 pounds. Third round pick. I don't think any of us envision Quincy Riley breaking out to the point where he emerges as a true number one cornerback in the NFL. Okay. I think the majority of us look at Kool-Aid McKinstry opposite him and think the same thing. They both can be really solid number twos in the league. I think that's a fair assertion. So you look at that and you go, okay, he breaks out, comes really good number two. Well, Saints still need their number one. What would have to happen down the line in order to do that? And what would you end up doing maybe with Quincy Riley? Well, maybe he's part of a deal somewhere because he was able to break out and you can win games in the meantime with him. Maybe that's Kool-Aid McKinstry and you keep Quincy Riley. Maybe you end up not falling your way here lately and you roll with those two for the foreseeable future. But I think a breakout is possible for Riley. When you look at his season from a year ago, it started out really on special teams. He got his first snaps defensively week 3 at Seattle. And then by week 6, he was starting at the right cornerback spot against the Patriots. And from there, he had a handful more starts. He was just in and out of the lineup. All in all, you see Quincy Riley for the New Orleans Saints as a rookie played 592 defensive snaps. He had over 100 more just on special teams. But as a rookie, 592 defensive snaps for Quincy Riley. And like we said, yes, there were growing pains. But you did see down the back half of the season him really start to improve. And Kellen Moore was asked about that. This was back on December the 4th of 2025. Kellen Moore was asked kind of about the emergence, the progression of Quincy Riley up to that point in the season.
You just see the consistency show up more and more. And so, I think he's just been a really steady player. He's got great instincts in the passing game. Obviously, he's attacking the football. He's got a history of ball production, which I think will continue to show up more and more. And so, for him, he's just going to keep growing, keep getting better. There's a physical component of this thing, playing corner in the NFL, that people are going to always stress you and challenge you with. And so he's got some great opportunities to continue to grow there. And so, but I thought he's done some good stuff.
All those things that Kellen Moore just mentioned, Ben Solak mentioned in his write-up, talked about the nose for the football. I mean, you heard Kellen Moore talk about the ball skills. You heard him talk about being a strong player. Solak mentioned pound-for-pound strength is fantastic with a guy like Quincy Riley, especially, being 5'11", 195 pounds. He's not going to get out muscled out there. I mean, he's a strong, hard-nosed football player. But the thing Moore mentioned was the consistency. You see the consistency, and down the back half of the season, you really did. So 3 out of Riley's 5 highest graded games per Pro Football Focus came in the last 4 games of the year. One area you really saw him improve in, tackling. And zone scheme that Brandon Staley likes to run, you're going to have a lot of opportunity to tackle. Over the course of the last 8 games of the season, Quincy Riley missed 1 tackle, as charted by Pro Football Focus. You compare that to the first 7 games of his season on defense, where he missed 5. 5 missed tackles in his first 7 games on defense, 1 in his last 8. That is great improvement. You can say what you want. Competition. Yep, understood. But that is something to build on if you're looking for breakout. He also vastly improved coverage-wise. Same thing. 3 of his top 5 graded games in coverage came in the last 4 games of the season. Again, competition, I understand. But that is something you can build on if you're looking for breakout. The other interesting thing is he's he's going to play outside. Jonas Sanker is going to get that crack to replace Alontae Taylor in that slot star role. And and Quincy Riley. Quincy Riley is going to play outside. Just look at a year ago. Now, yes, you had Alontae Taylor, but there were 8 snaps on defense for Quincy Riley in the slot. That's it, 8. 570 out wide at corner. That's the role they're going to continue to play him in, especially, again, with the zone-heavy scheme that Brandon Staley likes to employ. But I look at the tackling, I look at the improvement in coverage down the back half, and I go, yep, there is breakout potential. That is a player who got better the more he played and got a lot of valuable experience. The question is, if he is that breakout, what does it look like? Like, does he break out and emerge as another cornerback on your team that's a solid number 2 option? That's what I think. I mean, I look at that, I think the Saints have two number 2 cornerbacks. They did add Martin Emerson, obviously in free agency, but we'll see how that veteran kind of fits in here. Maybe he competes, takes a few reps from Riley. I don't know. We'll see. But it is intriguing because he, like a lot of players on the Saints defense, ended the season on a high note. Competition be damned. He ended the season on a high note. It's still the NFL. You're still going against professionals. So that is a very intriguing player to watch as the Saints go forward here in their offseason into training camp, and he goes into his second year. You hear it all the time. Year 1 to year 2. It's where the biggest jump comes in the NFL. Quincy Riley's part of that. We'll obviously see just how big of a jump he can make when the Saints get ready to hit the training camp field. July 29th is their first practice. They'll report on July the 28th. It gets closer and closer with each passing hour. All right, we'll grab a break. We were going to come back on the other side. Bino Watters, LSU outfielder, number 1 player in the portal. He joins the show next here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888. It's all 8s. 888-8888. I don't even need to give you the area code because no matter where you are in the state, it doesn't matter. Just dial 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon does an awesome job, man. He's a great person. They've been so invested in our communities with all the charitable and service work that they do. They give back into the communities that they represent, no matter what time of year. If it's the bike giveaway for kids around Christmas time, if it's the laptop giveaway around back to school time, if it's the charitable work they do during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they're always involved in the community. We tell you all the time, of course, about the G team and what Gordon's done with NIL and the opportunities that he's afforded student athletes. Just a great, great community partner. If you've been injured, you need representation, go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
Another roof gone too soon.
Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation.
At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today.
Case closed.
Love telling you about River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com is the website if you're looking for work, or you may not even know you're looking for work. River Parish Contractors, you need to make this call. Call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors because they got tons of work lined up. So you want overtime? They got as much overtime as you want. So you never have to. A lot of places want to hire, give you a good rate, but they don't want you to work overtime. Not at River Parish Contractors. They got as much overtime as you want to work. You want to work night shifts when it's cooler? You can do that. You want to work day shifts? Got it. Look, there's no rainouts. They have amazing benefits. They've got PTO. If you're a welder, pipe fitter, pipe cutter, you got to get in touch with my friends over at River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake or go to rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Right there in Reserve, River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Well, Jay Johnson continues to bring in a portal haul here for LSU this offseason. Ranked number 1 this class right now per 64 analytics, and a large reason for that is Bino Watters, LSU outfielder, number 1 ranked player in the transfer portal. He's up on Cape Cod right now playing his summer ball, but a few weeks or so, he'll head down to Baton Rouge and start his LSU career. Bino's good enough to join us for a few moments here on the show. Bino, we appreciate the time, man. How are you?
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me on. It's a good day. Summer's sun shining here in Cape Cod, and it's been a fun summer. So,
yeah, Bino. Yeah, they say Cape Cod's not a bad place to spend the summer up there on the Cape. There's plenty to do. Good baseball, beaches, food, all of those things. I want to get into your summer and how that's going, but let's just start kind of first off the top with an easy one. You enter the transfer portal. You choose LSU. Why? Why LSU?
I kind of listed out some reasons on why I wanted to go to these top 3 schools, which are Texas A&M, Texas, and LSU. And then ultimately I went on 3 visits and narrowed down my decision to Texas A&M and LSU. And LSU was a little bit more further ahead with the MLB development side of things, like what I wanted to do with my career. So it came down to LSU, and I am super excited about my decision and ready to, hopefully go win a natty there.
Why did you decide to enter the portal? I mean, 2 really good years at Notre Dame. I mean, you were a household name in college baseball. What went into that decision to leave the Fighting Irish and seek a new opportunity?
Yeah, I think everyone talks about being selfish in their career. I've talked about it on a couple other interviews, but I wanted to do what's best for my career, and I felt like that the SEC team and a new set of coaches was going to be able to develop me and to the player I want to be, and the player I've dreamed of being since I was, 8 years old. So super appreciative of what happened at Notre Dame, and I'm super excited to get on with this next step.
You did get to play LSU this past season over there in Jacksonville. Any memories, anything stand out from that matchup when the Irish and Tigers squared off?
Yeah, their preparation pregame was pretty unbelievable. Like, everyone was out on the field, doing their warm up, and then as a team, like, it was just very organized. And then the fans are unbelievable. Like, everyone was traveling. There was probably 8,000 fans that traveled to Jacksonville to watch that weekend there. So that was pretty cool to see. But obviously, then I didn't know I was entering the transfer portal, so it's kind of crazy to look back.
Had a knock in that game too. Did Bino Watters? He had a lot of those over the last 2 seasons up there with the Fighting Irish. Of course, Bino Watters is our guest, LSU outfielder, number 1 player in the transfer portal when he committed. You can get him on Twitter at Bino Watters. What was it like being recruited by Jay Johnson? I mean, he's got this reputation of just an absolute maniac and menace on the recruiting trail. Any good anecdotes, any stories you can share?
Yeah, I think Coach Johnson is the hardest working coach I've ever talked to in my life. He was the first call, actually, when I entered the transfer portal. I got a call from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so I was like, oh, this has got to be LSU. So I answered the phone, and we were on the phone for 40 minutes and had a pretty good call there. And talked about personal, what I was looking for in the portal and things like that. But yeah, he's unbelievable when it comes to recruiting. He really knows how to pull a player in the right direction and kind of lay out what they're looking at.
You often hear recruits, and this is really in any sport, basketball, football, baseball, it doesn't really matter, in any sport where recruiting happens, that first offer or the first visit or the first call, does that mean a little extra? I mean, you mentioned there that LSU was the first team to call you. Is that a little something special?
Yeah, I think so. I think that obviously LSU showed interest right away, so that kind of opened my eyes up a little bit. Like, wow, one of the premier programs in the country called me the morning of me entering the portal, so that was pretty exciting. But I think the order of the visits it didn't really matter because I know what I wanted, and I made my decision based on what was going to best fit me. But definitely the first call in the portal was eye-opening. It was exciting to, kick off with LSU.
Let's talk about the visit a little bit that you took to LSU. What stood out? What was really the pitch there from Coach Jay and the staff?
They kind of laid out what they wanted to do with me. They kind of explained it's going to be a 10-month business operation type deal. So I would be there for 10 years, hopefully get drafted after this upcoming year. And they laid out month by month and what they wanted to do with my swing and how they're going to develop me in the outfield and essentially how we're going to go win a national championship with me kind of in the middle of that lineup. So they kind of just put all the pieces together. And obviously you see we've gained a lot more portal guys after I committed. So it's exciting to, see all the puzzle pieces fall together.
Have you been able to interact with any of the other portal pieces, maybe up there on the Cape? I know Dawson Park obviously is up there as well. There's Eddie Yaman who's on the team. I think I saw a picture of you two in Fenway Park, correct?
Yeah. I've met a lot of those guys. Yeah, I talked to Dawson pretty frequently. I talked to Jason. Played Jason the other night. Eddie and Cade Curlin from Florida. So I've talked to pretty much all those guys that are up here.
Before we get back to your summer, I do want to ask you a little bit more about LSU, but your game, Bino, if I asked you what kind of baseball player is Bino Watters, what would your response be?
I would say a hardworking player that's going to go out on the field and give you 100% every day. I feel like my talent is good enough to show up every day, but I think I work harder than most people in the weight room and most people in the cages. So I think that my game translates a little bit better just because of how hard I work.
All right, let's talk about it. You're on Cape. I mean, obviously that's thought to be looked upon as the premier summer baseball league. How's the summer been going for you?
Summer's been fun. The Cape is beautiful. I'm in a great spot at Chatham, and coaches are actually coming up here to watch us here after the draft, so I'm excited for that. And, getting to play future teammates and watching them play has been fun, too.
You just been in most of your time corner outfield. Has it been left or right mainly in the Cape for you?
Yeah, it's been left for pretty much every game beside one.
All right, I have to ask you because I'm a Red Sox fan. What was it like getting to play in Fenway?
It was pretty cool. That green monster's it's bigger than you think when you're out there. It's pretty big. So we only had a couple guys leave over the green monster. Backside would have been tough for me, but it was fun to hit BP out there. And we actually saw a couple of players working out on the field, so that was cool.
Did you have to play? Did you have to play any balls off the monster? I mean, you get some crazy ricochets off that thing, Bino. Like it could shoot the complete opposite way once it hits that wall.
Yeah, it hit a light a couple times, and it was like shooting in random directions. So I think it's something you got to learn as a player when you're out there. But obviously, only being out there one time, it's kind of hard to gauge what it's going to do off that wall.
Pretty cool experience, man. It's one of the the most historic ballparks in the country. It's an awesome experience to get up there and go play. What have you been doing outside of baseball up there on the summer? I mean, there's a lot to do up on the Cape here.
Yeah, Chatham's a great area, so I've been able to actually get out to the beach and kind of explore downtown Chatham, so that part's been fun. I have a great host family, and they've taken me out to dinner a couple times. There's been a great restaurants around here that we went to. I'm trying to think what else. There's a whole bunch to do. Golfing, pretty much the whole deal. Like, there's a bunch to do up here.
All right, wait, how's the golf game? How's the golf game for
It's
Bino
not
Watters?
great. I slice it every time, so I get a little frustrated. I've got the lefty slice, but we're working on it.
All right, man. Sounds good. You know, you mentioned the restaurants. I got some good seafood up there on the Cape, but I promise you, when you get down here, we're going to hook you up with some really, really, really good seafood. Heck, you might have.
Awesome.
Did you have any when you came down on the visit?
I didn't know. They kept talking about gumbo when I was
Oh,
down
yeah.
there, but I didn't get any.
Oh, you'll get some of that in the fall, man. Football tailgates, all of that. I mean, it's going to be great. You're gonna love it down here. Bino Watters, LSU outfielder. Of course, you can get him on Twitter or X at Bino Watters. Bino, we appreciate the time, man. Thank you for taking some time with us to chat here on today's show. Best of luck to you the rest of the summer. Obviously, best of luck when you get to LSU, and we'll stay in touch. All right.
Yep. Thank you. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, that's our pleasure. Bino Watters, LSU outfitter. Enjoy that conversation, man. It's he's having a great summer up there, and it's awesome that he's been able to interact. I mean, interact with his teammates. When him and Eddie Yaman, they're on the same team. They're both with Chatham. So I mean that's awesome. And I mean, look, what a guy for him to be on a team with. Like Eddie Yaman. First of all, he's a good player. I mean, had some really good moments for LSU this past season, but he's like the ultimate clubhouse guy. Like that's Bino Watters' first introduction in a sense to, kind of to the LSU clubhouse is already being on a team with Eddie Yaman. So, I mean, that's awesome. Love the honesty about the golf game too, man. But excited to get Bino Watters down here. And I mean, look, that's man. LSU's gotten some big fish in the portal. Landon Hood, Angel Aya. It don't get any bigger than Bino Watters. Talking double-digit homers, 350 average, high RBI total, fill your corner outfield spot, hit in the middle of the lineup. You heard him say there, like, spends a bunch of time in the cages, coming here to win a national championship, and coming here to be developed, to go to the next level. And that, to me, was such an awesome takeaway there, because you're finally seeing that pay dividends. I mean, just from the Jay Johnson era at LSU, look at the guys who are in Major League Baseball. Now, I know a lot of them are pitchers, right? I mean, you got Gage Jump, you got Paul Skeens. I mean, Dylan Cruz is up there, from an offensive standpoint, though. Trey Morgan's in AAA. Jacob Berry's in AAA. Tommy White's in AAA. So, you're starting to see that crop of guys make their way offensively into the major leagues now, too. So, they can sell that. I mean, they can tangibly say, look, here you go, and compare that to the other schools. Like, compare that to A&M. Compare that to Texas. And if that's what you want, this is the place to get it. And I thought that was awesome to hear him, really hone in there. It wasn't, as much as we all love to hear guys say, oh, I played Alec Box, the tradition of LSU, the fans, the atmosphere, all of it. And he got to that when he talked about Jacksonville. But it was, no, like, this is my goal. It's my dream since I was 8 years. It's been my dream since I was 8 years old. They said I can accomplish that in 10 months here, maybe win a national championship, and then go to the next level. So it was LSU all the way. That's tangible evidence of it. And I mean, you really gotta like to see that. Obviously, with what they've turned out. So Bino Watters, man, future's very bright for him here in Baton Rouge when he gets back here, obviously in August for the start of the semester. And before you know it, they'll be out at the box scrimmaging for the fall, and then the preseason, and the spring will be here, and hopefully they're competing the highest level for a national championship again. So big thanks to Bino Watters for joining the show. We'll grab a break here momentarily, but first, Williamson Eye Center.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General Campus, I mean, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right, and then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first 2 floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center. State-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having, but they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. WilliamsonEYE.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
All right, it is After Further Review here on a Wednesday, Hump Day edition, brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. Musso in for Moscona. We're halfway home here on this Wednesday. We'll grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. We led the show with recruiting update. That one dealt with Jalen Brewster. Well, we also have one with LSU 5-star tight end commit Ahmad Hudson. So we'll get to that after the break here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Sieg near Airline, LA 16 in Denham. Mid-City on Don Moore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You know those 4 locations, and what an awesome time to get by Clegg's Nursery because they still have every single day shipments of flowers coming in, plants, trees, shrubs. You want to beautify the exterior of your home. You want to add that pop of color to your flower bed, to your patio pots. Maybe you got unwanted pests like ants or snakes or mosquitoes, wasps. They can help you take care of all of them. Maybe you got weeds coming up in your lawn. You want to get rid of that. Maybe you got dead spots in your lawn. The horticulturists, the professionals at Clegg's Nursery have the knowledge, the know-how, the expertise, and all the products you need to win Yard of the Month every month for your whole life. Guaranteed. Actually, I can't back that up. You have to do some of the work, too. It's Clegg's Nursery.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Here on the Gulf Coast, a wave says a lot. It says hello. It says thanks. It says we care. Shouldn't banking feel the same way? A friendly wave, a familiar face, backed by all the convenient tools you need to make banking a breeze. We're Gulf Coast Bank and Trust. Give us a wave and coast into better banking.
You see what you're looking for.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We
We are thrilled to welcome Hancock Whitney as a new partner here on After Further Review. Hancock Whitney has been committed to Gulf South communities for over 125 years. Now, I haven't banked with Hancock Whitney for 125 years, but I have banked with Hancock Whitney for quite literally as long as I've had a personal checking account. My branch is the Highland Road branch near I-10. When I was in college, I used to go to the Government Street location near Jefferson. And that's one of the great parts because there's more than 180 full-service financial centers throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Texas. So if you're traveling anywhere in the Gulf South, you're going to be able to find a Hancock Whitney location wherever you are. And they are committed to our favorite teams, as Hancock Whitney is proud to be the official bank of LSU Athletics and the New Orleans Saints. Oh yeah, you can be a card-carrying fan of LSU and the Saints quite literally with the LSU and Saints debit cards. I've had my Saints debit card for years. Learn more and get started at HancockWhitney.com/Matt.
Rolling along here on AFR, Wednesday show presented by Goodwood, Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. Ahmad Hudson, number one tight end in America, 5-star out of Ruston High School. He committed to LSU back in May. That was ahead of the official visit portion. He took his OV to LSU while committed, and then took an official visit to Nebraska as well. Of course, that commitment, that recruitment, I should say, really came down to LSU and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So you can look at that and go, committed to LSU, took his visit, loved it, but he still took that visit to Nebraska. Is that cause for concern? I want to get into that a little bit, but Sam Spiegelman, national recruiting analyst over at Rivals, and great local ties here, obviously, with Sam, sat down with Ahmad Hudson here this week and got an update, from the source himself, straight from the horse's mouth. And Ahmad Hudson told Sam, quote, "I'm still committed to LSU. I've had a great time on both visits, so my mom and I are just taking our time and making sure we're doing what's best for me," end quote. So he reaffirms his commitment, but stops short of shutting it down. Should LSU fans, should the program be concerned or uneasy about that recruitment? Well, I think there has to be at least a little, perk up of the ears, the eyes, like, all right, Nebraska, hold on, this isn't over, still on our radar type thing. Because, quite honestly, it's the same thing we talked about with Jalen Brewster earlier. I mean, you have a 5-star number one player committed to a school and has every opportunity to shut things down and hasn't done it. Like in that interview with Sam Spiegelman, that was an opportunity to shut it down. And he didn't do it. That tells you, yes, he's still keeping his options open, but he's still committed to LSU. I mean, that's just, this is what it is. Now, when I look at this, I still say LSU has a great chance to end up getting Ahmad Hudson signed. I think that they will. I think he remains in this class and is an LSU Tiger for a lot of reasons. Number one, the path to the field just couldn't be any more clear for Ahmad Hudson than it is at LSU. He's the only tight end they prioritized. Louisiana guy, he's in the boat. And when you look at his path to the field, Trey Green is a junior. We're all expecting a major breakout season from him, and he could potentially even play himself into a first-round draft pick with the major breakout season. He does that, everyone expects, he's gone. Heck, even if it's not the major breakout season and it's the top and is a first-round draft pick, Trey Green's going to be a top 100 player in the NFL draft. He's going to sign. He's gone. Ahmad Hudson, you can come right in and you will get playing time at LSU. I think that factors into this huge. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm completely familiar with Nebraska's tight end situation in their depth chart, because I'm not. Because, quite frankly, I really don't care about Nebraska football. But what I'm saying is you're going to be hard-pressed to find a better path to the field than that. Not that he'd come in and be your immediate starter. Like, there are other tight ends, but that guy's a complete freak, just like Trey Green is, and he'd come in, and he would immediately get playing time as a freshman, like Trey Green did, get your feet wet, and then have, a chance to just break out your next 2 years.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia.
Oh. What a blast from the past. Pluckers Trivia, by the way. Man. Wow. Where was I? Okay. He would have an opportunity to come in as a freshman, get the feet wet, like you saw with Trey Green, play, get valuable reps, and then go into his next 2 years just really with an opportunity to break out. That's as clear of a path as you can get. There's a Louisiana angle. This is a Louisiana kid. Lane Kiffin, his staff, they've really emphasized keeping top players in Louisiana home. You saw that with Jaden Andine earlier this week. It's a top 10 player. You're seeing them really push hard for Easton Royal. Ahmad Hudson definitely falls into that boat. There's the Rustin angle. We talked about this with Shay on Tuesday when he was on the show. Rustin is becoming quite the pipeline to LSU. Aiden Andine already on the team. Jaden Andine committed. Ahmad Hudson, his teammate, by the way, committed. He also got to play with Aiden for a year. And oh, by the way, as Shay noted yesterday on the show, there's already 4 players for the class of 2028 on Rustin, his teammates, that LSU has extended offers to. That's a heavy pull there. And then, oh, by the way, there's the basketball angle. Remember, Ahmad Hudson's a hell of a basketball player, has actual offers, and when he committed to LSU, he noted the real possibility of playing for Will Wade as well as playing football as a pull to LSU. And when he spoke with Sam Spiegelman, he reiterated that as well. Quote, "I'm excited about the chance to play for Coach Kiffin and also keep playing basketball for Coach Wade. The official visit was great and just gave me more time around everybody to get a better feel for what my future there could look like." It's like the basketball portion of this seems to be a very real thing at LSU. We'll see how that works out. Trey Green tried it. Now, obviously, he's playing football. But that's a real thing that maybe doesn't present itself solely in that same vein at Nebraska. So I think while you look at this and you go, yes, he's had opportunities to shut it down, and him not doing that absolutely tells you that there is still a pull and interest in Nebraska to some extent. It just, when you break it down and you look at playing time and the connection with teammates and former teammates and future teammates and the Louisiana angle and the basketball deal, LSU, it's ultimately why he picked them in the first place, was that combination of things. And it just feels like an uphill climb for Nebraska to really eventually pull him away. But we'll keep monitoring it as long as he keeps it open and doesn't officially shut down, his recruitment. But I would still feel pretty darn good about Ahmad Hudson staying in this LSU class and signing on the dotted line come National Signing Day. All right. We are due for a break, but before we get there, AFR brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake.
Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, as we say, together we roar. Part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. And, I love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake because whenever we talk about healthcare, Our Lady of the Lake understands the two things primarily that people want are access and convenience. And they knock that out of the park. Whether it be at the Regional Medical Center, if it's the Lake After Hours, if it's any of the specialty services that you may need, heart, stroke, cancer, pediatrics, you want the best. You want Our Lady of the Lake. You can learn more about the Championship Health Partnership, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar.
Hour 2 rolls on. AFR, we'll put a button on that here next. We'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side and close out Hour 2 of a Wednesday edition of AFR with Tigers in the Pros. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ricky Gomez, who said Chris, his technician, was very professional and knowledgeable during the HVAC evaluation. He provided details and recommendations in a clear and concise manner. That's one of the things that always stands out. If you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, and River City's 1 Hour Air sends out a technician for an evaluation, they're going to explain your options to you. And that may sound simple, but none of it, I don't know anything about an HVAC, neither do you. Let's be honest. So whenever they go get up in your attic or they go look at your HVAC unit on the side of your house and they come talk to you, they're going to explain very clearly what's happening and your options to remedy it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has that I can.
We're brought to you by Supper Club. You can book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. One of the things about Supper Club that I love is if you want to go to Supper Club and be a baller, you can do it. You want to go to Supper Club and order a $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, you can do it. You want to go have $400 shots of cognac, you can do it. You can have experiences at Supper Club that usually are reserved for Las Vegas and New York and Paris and Abu Dhabi. That's here in Baton Rouge. But the thing you got to remember as well, if you want to go to Supper Club and have the best steak of your life and have a few appetizers, a dessert, bottle of wine, you can do it as affordably as any other restaurant in town. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. Introduced open seating at the bar, first come, first serve. So if you knock off of work, you want to head by Supper Club, you can walk in without a reservation, see if you can grab a bar stool or a table by the bar as well. Have a great dinner, maybe cocktail, close some business. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, we get set to close out hour number 2 here of AFR on a Wednesday. We do so, as always, with Tigers in the Pros. Take it away, Luke.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, we got Tigers in the Pros.
Alex Bregman and the Cubs faced off against Baltimore yesterday. Mr. Bregman went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs at the plate. He collected a pair of hits and drove in both of his team's runs. And he did not strike out at the plate.
Hey, look at that. He needed a good game. Pick the bat up just a touch underneath you there. Bregman needed a good one, man. It's been a little bit of a tough season for him up there with the Cubbies.
Paul Skeens. Mr. Skeens got a W yesterday against the Braves. Not surprising. He went 6 innings, allowing 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 punch-outs.
What'd that do for you, Paulie? Huh? Like that? Paul Skeens just giving it to your Braves?
It was mainly Ryan O'Hearn who did that.
Yeah, actually, I want to come back to that after this. Go ahead.
All right. Lastly, we have Josh Smith. Mr. Smith and the Rangers got a W against the Angels yesterday. Josh went 1 for 5 at the plate, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and reaching home once. So that's on balls.
Love to hear that. Paul Skeens. Paul mentioned Ryan O'Hearn just absolutely. I mean, he obliterated the Braves, like basically by himself. Sorry, Paul. Our guy Ryan O'Hearn, get his official stat line here for you real fast. Ryan O'Hearn was 4 for 5. He drove in 10 and hit 3 homers, including a grand slam. Paul Skeens, obviously starting pitcher in the game, you just told us, went 6 and all that and got the win, was asked about that performance of O'Hearn, like pitching with that performance, and Skeens said, I don't know, it's kind of a little selfish by him. I mean, home runs are rally killers. He said, yeah, you hit a 3-run homer, but now no one's on base. So Skeens, with the sense of humor, I did see that earlier today. Found that pretty funny. But my goodness, Ryan O'Hearn, not a former Tiger, but he is in the pros, and he had a 10 RBI game. Goodness gracious. Pirates. I want the Pirates to make the playoffs.
Finally provided Skeens with some run support there.
Yeah, it's been a while. And they finally got a lead that was apparently so insurmountable that their bullpen couldn't blow it, because the Pirates' bullpen is bad.
Terrible.
Like, bad.
When does Skeens' rookie contract end?
Well, they extended him, I think, didn't
they did?
Or they haven't yet. I think they have him under team control for like 6 more seasons, though.
What?
Something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd like them to. They have a lot of good pieces, young pieces. It's just they're the Pirates and they just don't win. But no, maybe they'll make the playoffs this year. I think I'd love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. Get Skeens some experience. Get Skeens some experience in the postseason. That way, when he ultimately signs a free agent deal with the Boston Red Sox, he'll be used to it by then.
He's gonna go to LA.
Oh, please. Well, you know what? I'd rather that than the team in the Bronx. So just as long as he doesn't go to the Pinstripes, I'm fine. He can really go anywhere else that he wants. All right. After further review here on a Wednesday edition, before we hit our top of the hour break, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Matt?
Quick reminder about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. If you are, gentlemen, thinking about popping the question and you're thinking about where am I going to go buy that diamond, I want you to consider this. There are places that will sell you man-made lab diamonds, but what are you buying? It's according to its makeup and characteristics, sure, diamond. But is it going to hold its value? Like, is that the way you want to say, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? Go to Lee Michaels. Go to Lee Michaels. Walk in the door. Experience the thing I talk about all the time, which is the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations. Baton Rouge, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mississippi, Texas as well. 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
All right, we still have a ton to do here on today's show. I mean, we still got to get to some MLB draft conversation with the LSU current players and signees. Kylie McDaniel released his final draft ranking, his top 250, and it is heavy with LSU players and LSU flavor. I have some thoughts on that we'll get to, obviously, in the next hour. We'll hit our break. Sports Center, we'll get you caught up on the national headlines. And then when we come back, a very prominent NFL draft guru, expert, analyst, whatever you want to call them, had some high praise for LSU's Sam Leavitt. Wait until you hear this. So we will get to that right after Sports Center to lead off hour number 3 of a Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona. Moscona will be back on Monday. He's wrapping up his vacation. But we have a jam-packed hour number 3 next. Sam Leavitt conversation. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Evermore. Drink Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. Evermore.com. For elite athletes, for someone who just wants a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you're a parent, you want a healthier option for your children. Evermore is a great option. I would highly encourage you, bottom line, if you're drinking tap water, don't. Bare minimum, filter your tap water. But the best option is Evermore. This is natural artesian water. It's underground aquifers on the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They dug a well into that aquifer, and I mean, it's literally thousands of years in the making. That's why they call it Mother Nature's masterpiece. That's what they're pulling out of the ground. The only filtration is take like the sediment from the ground out of the water, and it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Learn more where you can buy it, great retailers or online, EVAMOR, Evermore.com.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Here on the Gulf Coast, a wave says a lot. It says hello. It says thanks. It says we care. Shouldn't banking feel the same way? A friendly wave. A familiar face. Backed by all the convenient tools you need to make banking a breeze. We're Gulf Coast Bank and Trust. Give us a wave and coast into better banking.
You see what you're looking for.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
The Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, hour number 3 after further review here on a Wednesday. Musso in for Moscona. We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, proud sponsor of our Wednesday shows, yourgoodwood.com. Luke Foster, Paul O'Neill along for the ride, and we're happy to have you along for the ride as well. 5 o'clock, just getting in your car, punch the clock, heading home from work. We appreciate you making us a part of your commute, a part of your day. And we still have a jam-packed hour number 3 here to get to. Kylie McDaniel over at ESPN released his final top 250 ahead of the MLB draft. Plenty of LSU signees, plenty of LSU flavor in terms of the current roster on there. Have some thoughts on that I want to get to. We'll get to that here in the next segment. We still have to get to Otter. Otter Locks is still to come here, obviously, on today's show as well. So locked and loaded and ready to go here as we polish off a Wednesday edition of AFR. The NFL draft is months away. I get it. It's July 8th. The NFL draft is in late April. We got a long way to go. We got an entire college football season, all of that. Understand completely. But boy, this caught my attention and it warrants a conversation. So, a week ago, Todd McShay on The McShay Show ranked his top 6 quarterbacks ahead of the 2027 NFL Draft. Number 1, Dante Moore from Oregon. 2, Lenore Sellers from South Carolina. 3, C.J. Carr from Notre Dame. 4, Arch Manning from Texas. 5, Julian Sayin from Ohio State. And number 6 was Brendan Sorsby. No Sam Leavitt. Which, quite honestly, I didn't think anything of in the moment. I clicked on it. I read it because I'm like, well, maybe there's a chance. He wasn't on it. I said, all right, I can get behind that. Makes sense. But because I felt that way, I was all the more surprised when I heard Todd McShay back on the McShay Show say this about Sam Leavitt.
I think Sam Leavitt has a chance to be a top 5 pick. I envision a young man who has everything skills-wise, but what he's missing is scheduling. But he's going to spend a year, maybe 2, with Lane Kiffin. Chambliss wasn't great at it when he got there. And look at Chambliss when he got to the end of the season. Look at Jackson Dart, where he was early in his career. He was a runner. He was a sandlot guy a lot. If Lane can work his magic now that we have a healthy Sam Leavitt in Baton Rouge for the next couple months getting ready for the season, his stock is at a price that I would empty my bank account on.
I understand you could take anything and everything that draft analysts and draft experts say with a grain of salt. I mean, you should honestly do that really with just about anybody. I mean, it's an opinion. But Todd McShay's been doing it a long, long time. Todd McShay has seen a lot of elite talent and evaluated a lot of elite talent. And I mean, that's his specialty is NFL draft. So that carries weight when he says that about Sam Leavitt. Now, it is important to note, and he kind of even mentioned this in that cut, he never said he was going to be a top 5 pick in this spring's draft. You heard him in there say he's going to spend a year, maybe even 2, with Lane Kiffin. And I think that's something that is obvious. I know that's something that's obviously been, conveyed to Sam Leavitt that, man, this could be a 2-year thing for you. Come here, year 1, get your feet wet. Year 2, when you're here, you really explode onto the scene. And if that's the case, you just heard Todd McShay say, I mean, his stock is never going to be higher than it will be. the interesting part there with McVay, not McVay, excuse me, the interesting part with McShay, what he mentioned about Leavitt in structure and schedule, like on schedule, that is the refrain you hear from anyone who does a film study or puts out, a projection or a profile on Sam Leavitt is that's the area he has to get better. And we talked about this last week when Clark Brooks over at On3 released he was going through his 2026 quarterback impact study, and he came to Sam Leavitt. And Sam Leavitt, by the way, was his QB number 2 in that whole study. And he went through all the things that Leavitt did great. Play action, his ability to scramble, make plays, out of structure, make plays off schedule, all those things. And then he got into things that McVay alluded to there, the things that McShay alluded to there, the struggles maybe in structure a little bit. To give you some numbers there, he wasn't nearly as potent as he was as a freshman at Arizona State a year ago. Now, yes, he definitely dealt with injuries. The interesting thing is, one of Leavitt's greatest strength is his accuracy, and that remained in structure. But the interceptables went up, and his success rate per Clark Brooks, when he went through all the Power 4 quarterbacks, all Power 4 starting quarterbacks, Leavitt's success rate in structure landed on the bad side of the impact average for the second straight season. So, that is where he needs to improve. You heard Todd McShay say it, though. Trinidad Chambliss wasn't great at that when he got to Ole Miss. By the end of the year, he was awesome. Leading them on a deep playoff run. Looks to be one of, if not the best returning quarterback in the SEC this year, which puts him up there with Dante Moore when it comes to being in the top returning quarterback in the nation in that sense. Jackson Dart, that is a great comp. Dart was true dual threat running guy, man. Early in his time at USC, early in his time at Ole Miss, and by the end of it, he's a first-round draft pick, starting quarterback for the New York Giants now. We've seen it very recently here where quarterbacks have been able to develop in the structure of Lane Kiffin's offense and improve that part of the game. And I will just say what we've talked about here the last couple of times we've mentioned Sam Leavitt. Man, having him for 2 years, that's part of the plan. That's great. I love that. And if that does come to fruition, you have a great chance to win a national championship, especially if Sam Leavitt reaches what Todd McShay's talking about, top 5 pick level. Leavitt reaches top 5 pick. You have him potentially for 2 full seasons. You have an awesome chance to win a national championship while he is at LSU. I don't really think that's debatable. Quarterback drives so much, I don't really think that's debatable. But the other aspect of it is, take the Trinidad Chambliss case, for example. He wasn't great at it early in his time at Ole Miss, but as the season went on, he got better. And I'll say it again. I think when you look at Sam Leavitt in his first year at LSU, given he missed spring practice, the majority of it, is now fully cleared and ready to go, and he'll have a full fall camp. And you have tough games out the stretch. Clemson, at Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I mean, all 3 of those games are 3 of your first 4 in September. You probably see them really lean on what he does exceptionally well, like the play action, like being able to create off schedule, his accuracy, things of that nature. And you bring him along in the structure and improve him in the pocket. And hopefully by the end of the season, it looks like Trinidad Chambliss did a year ago. And then you go into the next year with him. Because if it does start a little slow, like it has for LSU quarterbacks, transfer quarterbacks, I mean, Joe Burrow started slow in 2018, came on late in that year, became what he did. Jaden Daniels in 2022 Started slow in that season, came on at the end, became what he became. Sam Leavitt could very well follow that path. And you heard Todd McShay say it there. If he does, he thinks he's going to be a top 5 pick. He's got everything you want in a quarterback. He just needs to get better in the structure of the offense. But this could set up really, really well for LSU, provided, again, also, he stays healthy. And if you do see that trajectory where it's a slower start and then he's hitting on all cylinders at the end, that may not be enough to pry him away in the draft. Maybe it is. Plans change. Like, we could sit here and say the plan was 2 years with Sam Leavitt. Plans change. Opportunities present themselves. But if you get him for 2 full seasons and he elevates to what Todd McShay is saying he thinks he can, top 5 pick, you have a great opportunity to win a national championship behind Sam Leavitt. Guy's got playoff experience. Like, that's a real, real opportunity for you, provided it all comes to fruition. That's some high, high praise, though. High, high praise from Todd McShay, who's evaluated a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of elite NFL draft talent in his day. I'm fired up to see how it plays out, man. Like, that's a big getting Sam Leavitt, and I'm fired up to see how that one's going to play out for LSU as we go through the 2026 season and beyond. All right, we're going to grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll continue here on a Wednesday edition of AFR. The Major League Baseball draft gets underway Saturday. So the countdown is officially on, and you're seeing final draft rankings, final mock drafts. We'll look at Kylie McDaniels when we return here on AFR.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, 2 beautiful hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. And when it comes to hosting your event, both the Watermark and the Renaissance are perfect. The Watermark is a gorgeous, elegant spot in downtown Baton Rouge. That wedding reception, that smaller gathering, that meeting space, they can do it. They've kept so much of the history and tradition of that iconic building while modernizing it. The Gregory is a great restaurant inside of the Watermark as well. And then, of course, the Renaissance Hotel. Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. It's more modern. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel property at the Renaissance Hotel where they have meeting space that can accommodate up to 500 people, 7,000 square foot of meeting space, perfectly located right off of Bluebonnet and I-10. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance Hotels in Baton Rouge.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shawbills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires, the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good, you're going to keep coming back year after year after year, every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil changed, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shawbills. Let them give it the once-over, and you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawbillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawbillsTire.com. Be sure to ask about the Shawbills credit card as well, because you can save $50 off your first purchase when you use the Shawbills credit card only at Shawbills.
Major League Baseball draft gets underway Saturday afternoon, 2-day event. So on Saturday, rounds 1 through 4 will take place to kick off All-Star Weekend there for Major League Baseball. Sunday, you'll see rounds 5 through 20. Of course, as always, we keep an eye on the top 10 rounds of the draft. That's where teams' bonus pools are are spent, and the slot value is put on those picks. And it's one of those things we talk about every year. If you see a player come off the board in the top 10 rounds, they've agreed to sign with that team for a number, and they're gone. Like they're going to the major leagues. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. So you have that split over 2 days here, rounds 1 through 4 on Saturday, 5 through 20 on Sunday. Now, Kylie McDaniel from ESPN, MLB draft analyst, released his final draft rankings here on Wednesday morning. His top 250. It's important to note that this is not a mock draft. This is his big board. This is him just ranking the top 250 prospects for the Major League Baseball draft. And there is a heavy LSU flavor. Let's start with the signees, because I imagine that's really what everybody wants to hear about. And I'll give you a few notes on current players at the back end of this segment. 10 LSU signees made Kylie McDaniel's final top 250 draft ranking. Half of them were in the top 100. The guys in the top 100, left-handed pitcher Logan Schmidt, who you can pretty much safely assume is going to sign professionally. I know there's all those reports out there about him having a big number and signability and whatnot. Okay, that's fine. He's a lefty that throws 97. Those don't come around all the time, and those guys normally don't make it to campus, even with a big number. There's probably going to be an MLB team that's going to get close to that, and he'll sign. Jensen Hirschkorn, a righty, was also one of those 5. Dominic Santorelli was one of those 5 in the top 100. Malachi Washington was in the top 100. And Lucas Naraki was in the top 100. The other 5 that rounded it out, Will Adams, first baseman, Colton Brady, who's a right-handed pitcher, Colby Stringer, who's a right-handed pitcher, Anthony Murphy, an outfielder, and then Cooper Sides rounded out the LSU signees in there, another right-handed pitcher with big stuff. I have thoughts on but on multiple of these guys that I do want to get to. But first, as a reference, Kiley McDaniel was on AFR. He was on this show back at the beginning of June. Okay, this was June 1st. It's over a month ago, and a lot of things can change. That's why I'm saying we'll use this as a reference. But back on June 1st, when Kiley McDaniel was on this show, he said this about the LSU signees that he would not project to make it to campus.
I'm looking at sort of my rankings, the order of the LSU commits. I think the first 3 to 5 are either no's or likely no's to get to campus. That would be Schmidt, Jensen Hirschhorn out of California, right-handed pitcher, Malachi Washington, center fielder out of the Atlanta area, Will Adams, first baseman out of Hoover High School in Alabama, and then Dominic Santorelli, left field first base out of Wisconsin. Those guys all have, I'd say, pretty significant seven-figure interest. You assume all of them will get offered seven figures. Not a lot of guys. I'd say a handful, maybe even single digits, turn down 1.5 or more in the draft. I would be surprised if more than one of them got to campus. I think if you get one, you're doing a good job out of that group because I think they're all going to get offered, I'd say 1.5 or north, maybe 1.3 or north.
And I'm sure those numbers have grown. And again, I say use that as a reference because, Kiley McDaniel's rankings have changed since then. I mean, he gave you the top 5 that he did in that, he's talking about those guys not getting to campus. Lucas Naraki wasn't included in that. Now Lucas Naraki is one of his top 5 LSU prospects, and Will Adams bumped down to 6. So what you're looking at is fluctuation there, and I would tell you, I would expect LSU to probably lose 6 to 8 guys out of this signing class to the Major League Baseball draft. You compare that to a year ago, LSU lost 8, which, by the way, is by far the most in the Jay Johnson era. They got gutted a year ago by the MLB draft. In Jay's 3 other full recruiting, like his full seasons, class 22, class 23, class 24, they lost a combined 10 players to the Major League Baseball draft out of high school. They lost 8 a year ago, and I think you're going to see a similar number here this season. The difference is you have 23 guys in this signing class, and it is so deep, top to bottom. But let's talk about a few. We talked about Logan Schmidt, Jensen Hirschhorn. You heard Kiley say this guy's probably not going to get there. It's a 6'7" righty who throws 97, sits mid-90s. The projectability in the frame isn't necessarily there, but the projectability in the stuff is. Could he make it outside chance? Sure, I would put that at a very outside chance. That feels like one of those righties that Major League Baseball is going to sink their teeth into and say, okay, the little bit of development he needs with his secondary stuff, we can give him here and fast track him to Major League Baseball. Malachi Washington, that was another one that Kiley mentioned in that cut back in the beginning of June. Malachi Washington, that one kind of feels like that ship has sailed. He's going to get a really good offer, and it just feels like that's a guy who's ready to go start his career. We'll see. I mean, I guess there's a chance you cannot get your number, but that's just not one that I would hold my breath on. If something changes and you get him, great. That's awesome. He is a really, really good outfielder that could have an absolutely incredibly bright future at LSU. Will Adams, two-way guy. Kiley mentioned him there as a first baseman, but he's a pretty good left-handed pitcher as well, up into the low 90s. We'll see there as well. Again, that's over a month ago, but you've heard a lot of players, a lot of people talk about Will Adams, potentially signing that pro contract. Then there's a couple more. Dominic Santorelli lit up the MLB Combine. And I'm not going to tell you the ship has sailed on him coming to LSU, because I don't believe that it has. But he's going to have to turn down a lot of money. Like he's going to have to turn down a lot of money in order to do that. And until you're presented with that formal offer, you can't really make that decision. If you get Dominic Santorelli to campus, that guy is an immediate impact difference maker. Like he's going to get at bats. I mean, that's Jared Jones coming to school in a sense, man. Like it just is that big power hitter. I mean, Jones got over 100 at bats as a freshman and hit 14 homers. Like it is that real of power from a guy like Dominic Santorelli. He could even compete to be your starting first baseman. Like if you get him here, he's an immediate difference maker for you, most likely. A guy he led the MLB Combine in exit velocity. Like he's just raw power. And it could happen for you. It could. But he's going to have to turn down a lot of money. A lot of money in order to make that decision to come to campus. And I for me personally, my opinion, I can't bet on that happening. So my opinion, I probably expect him to sign. Colton Brady is a complete wild card because I've seen him in mock drafts. I've seen him around, like 200 to 210 rank for MLB Pipeline. Kylie McDaniel has him at number 133. That guy would be an awesome addition if you can get him. And I think with him being such a wild card, that kind of goes both ways. But I think there's a chance you get him, obviously, to school. And then the other two that I wanted to touch on, the other three that I wanted to touch on here real quick, because I think Anthony Murphy's going to sign professionally. Colby Stringer, who we've talked about plenty, back when he committed midseason to LSU and they won a big battle. I think LSU still feels pretty good about getting him here. But through the playoff run and whatnot, there were scouts that were able to really get down there in Mississippi and see him a little bit more. That was the thing. I mean, when he committed, it was like, okay, LSU's going to get this guy because he was such a late riser and there just wasn't enough time to build a draft profile. And I'm not saying that there all of a sudden was more time. I still think it's a pretty light profile on him. It's definitely heavier than it was when he committed to LSU midseason. But we talked about this with Ethan Fry a year ago. We talked about this with Stephen Milan before he pulled his name out of the draft. All it takes is one team. It takes one team to fall in love with the guy and throw big money at him, and you get there. I mean, he's sitting there rank a top 150 prospect, even as a late riser, as a late bloomer. I still think they feel pretty good about that one, though, with Colby Stringer. That'd be a huge get. Naraki, I'm just going to be really bummed if LSU loses Lucas Naraki to the MLB draft. I really am, because that's an insane two-way threat. And from the mound, left-handed, I mean, he's up to 95. Like, he's really good. And you might say, well, man, 95 left side, why would he even make it to campus? Well, he's 5'11". Like, he's 5'10", 5'11", and scouts very easily could have said, all right, you've done great at Aledo High School in Texas. Let's go see you do it for 3 years in the SEC, and then we'll have another conversation. But with the performance he put forth at the MLB Combine, specifically on the offensive side, because again, he's a real two-way threat, specifically on the offensive side, he has shot up draft boards, and that's a guy that LSU invested plenty in education and whatnot, showing him why college is the best path. And you still could get him. Like, there are still teams out there that are going to go, yeah, it's great showing at the Combine. Yeah, he throws 95. Yeah, but he's 5'10", 5'11". Like, there are still teams that are going to ding him for that, even though the stuff and the ability is there at a major league level. And maybe that's what you need to end up getting him here. But that one's going to sting if you do. Because, man, I think a couple months ago, they would have felt great about that. And now he's just shot up draft boards, and it's not nearly as certain, and that's a bummer. And then Cooper Sides is the other one to really keep an eye on. I mean, Cooper Sides, outside of Jensen Hirschkorn, is LSU's highest-ranked right-handed pitcher in this class per perfect game. And, I mean, that's a mid-90s fastball, really good breaking stuff, advanced feel already, all of those things with Cooper Sides. And if you could get him, and I think you have a shot, but that one might be a little bit more 50-50. Maybe like a more of a coin flip toss-up type deal. But if you can get him, that's a guy who can come in and immediately contribute in your bullpen. That's really the thing I look at with this class, is there's a lot of freshmen in it that if you get here on the mound, they are immediate impact guys, like a Naraki. He could impact you on both sides potentially. like Colby Stringer, like Colton Brady, like Cooper Sides. Like, you have that type of freshman class where, I mean, it could completely turn your pitching staff, around in a sense from a bullpen perspective. And maybe some of them come in and compete and earn a starting spot. I mean, we've seen freshmen break into the rotation before, at LSU. So that's your signees, just some brief thoughts there. We will have Joe Doyle on the show from Overslot tomorrow to go through a full draft preview for us. Joe will join the show. Joe's great. We have him on all the time. He does great work. Overslot, you should check it out as well. I mean, Joe is very, very well connected. Current LSU players in this will be brief. Derek Curiel was the 10th overall player, which awesome for Derek, man. That's great. And, as we say, this isn't a mock draft, but actually what you're seeing is him mocked to the Rockies at 10. Like, that is the rumored selection right now for the Rockies. There's a lot of smoke around Derek Curiel in Colorado. And if he ends up a top 10 pick, man, that is awesome for him, because that's a guy who they wanted to see more power. He bet on himself, came to LSU, and it's going to work out to where he's a top 10 pick. That's fantastic. Jake Brown was at number 64. I think we all know Jake Brown's going to head to Major League Baseball. You've rebuilt your outfield. Like, you wouldn't have done that if you expected Curiel or Brown back in any capacity. So those two guys are both going to be day one picks. That's awesome. And then the other player that made the top 250 was Devin Sheeran. And, we talked about this a little bit with Jason Ratcliffe on the show yesterday. It's just been the feeling kind of around Sheeran. He's going to be one of the top college relievers taken in this draft. He's up to 98, 99 from a crossfire delivery with an absolutely wipeout slider. Those guys just kind of don't grow on trees. He had a lot of good moments for LSU, some bad this year, but really ended his season on a high note there in the SEC tournament. And, it's kind of just always been pretty expected that he moves on and signs. So you'll probably be without those guys, but you wish them best of luck. And, again, Curiel, Brown, both being day one picks, most likely. That's awesome. That's all. Those guys are great Tigers, part of a lot of great winning. So we'll have plenty more. As I said, Joe Doyle will be with us tomorrow for a full breakdown of LSU in the MLB draft. Gets underway Saturday, and when Matt's back here on Monday, we'll obviously be recapping and breaking down another eventful 2 days for LSU around MLB All-Star Weekend. The Major League Baseball draft is one of the most frustrating and entertaining things to watch each year, but it never disappoints, man. You always teams always find money, and there's always surprises. So, like with any draft, but we'll keep you updated, obviously, on that as we move through the week, and obviously when Matt's back here on Monday. All right, we're gonna grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. Went a little long there, but thought it was worth it. We'll come back on the other side and continue here a Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
After further review.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential, think real estate, think Darren James. You want an unbelievable customer service experience, you want Darren James. It's part of his core values for Darren and his team. Darren tells me all the time, as long as I've known Darren, he said, my goal one day is to put myself out of business. I want to create such a turnkey, seamless, easy process for people to be able to buy and sell homes that they don't even need me anymore. Well, as Darren continues on that path in the meantime, he's going to help you sell your home. So if you need to sell your home, you want a realtor that quite literally sells more homes than anyone, you want Darren James. Last year, Wall Street Journal is listed the top 1% of realtors in America, Darren James. So need to sell your home fast for the most amount of money? You need Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on it.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Summer is here. Maybe you're looking to upgrade that ride before the family road trip. Get on by South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, or online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. Told you for years, they are Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Maybe you need that full-size family SUV. Make sure you go test drive the Atlas. That's what Erica drives. It's the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. Tons of space to accommodate our family, all our bags, all the beach stuff as well. Go test drive one today at South Point Volkswagen. Remember, you can shop them online, new and certified pre-owned. So if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, great selection. Say it all the time. They're the largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They move more new inventory, so they have more pre-owned trade-in inventory as well. So make sure you shop their pre-owned vehicles over at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
All right, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. We got to get to Otter, but I did find this interesting. So, obviously, the FIFA World Cup is going on, and the United States made a run to the round of 16 in the knockout, and I mean ratings followed. Like there were ratings that rivaled the NFL playoffs in these knockout round games. For the World Cup in the US. And that's interesting to me as well. And I mean, we can talk about that a little bit, but what I really wanted to kind of point out is after the World Cup finishes, you'll wait until 2030, obviously for the next World Cup. And in the meantime, FIFA will negotiate a new media rights deal for the United States rights. And there are reports that the value of that media rights deal could quadruple. You know what Fox pays for the World Cup right now? Biggest sporting event in the world, across the globe, like internationally. The World Cup. Fox is paying $484 million for that. And have brought in ratings that have rivaled the NFL postseason. Now, granted, yes, the United States is out now, so those are like that's going to that's going to go away. But to only pay $484 million for that is pretty crazy. Now, for what it's worth, the U.S.'s first knockout game against Bosnia averaged more than 26 million viewers. That's, I think, the NFL postseason, the divisional round a year ago. See if I can find this number again. It was a little over 30. It was a little over 30 million. And then when you go to the Belgium game, combined without the Nielsen ratings, this is from Ad Impact, this is an estimate before the Nielsen ratings come in, the English and Spanish audience broadcast combined 47.9 million. Now, yes, those numbers are going to go down because the United States is out. But again, quadruple. Netflix, YouTube, and Disney. Those are the three bidding right now, or in this bidding war, and they're willing to pay up to $2 billion for the rights to the 2030 World Cup. That is quadrupling, which is, it's insane. And I'm intrigued by this, and here's why. Those ratings this year were great. The World Cup was also here. You know where the World Cup is in 2030? The primary countries are going to be Spain. Hold on, I have to find it again. Forgive me. Spain, Morocco, Portugal. That ain't the Eastern, Central, and Pacific time zones. We're not going to be going home watching Team USA at 7. So that's going to dip the ratings here as well in this next World Cup. Just not everybody's going to stay up and watch these things live. So that's intriguing to me as they're going through this. And also, there's no guarantee that, you know, you make that run again to the round of 16. Maybe you do. Maybe make a deeper run. Who knows? But $2 billion. I wonder if that's not an overcorrection. I'm sure it's not. They have all their data and they're looking at this. But I found that interesting. If you're wondering, because I was, how that compares to media rights deals for the NFL, considering, I mean, these games were getting playoff ratings for the NFL. The NFL's media rights deals across all their networks is more than $110 billion. The NBA, $77 billion. So ways to go to catch up to that. But still, from $484 million to potentially $2 billion for your media rights, FIFA's going to love that. That's a great success having the World Cup here because you've capitalized off of that when the ratings are not going to be anywhere close to what they were when you go to those time zones in Spain, Morocco, and Portugal. But interesting nonetheless. At least I thought so. All right, we'll grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. Close out hour number 3. Close out the Wednesday edition of AFR with Otterlocks. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
You ever just get super frustrated at super slow internet? Oh, we've all been there, man. The little spinning wheel, slamming your keyboard or your mouse, pounding the desk because it's so frustrating. Your internet's so slow. Storm comes, knocks the power out, knocks the internet out, knocks the cable out. You're so frustrated. Maybe that's just me because I get kind of angry about things. But it's annoying. Nobody wants that to happen. Rev can help. They're local and 5 gigs, lightning fast speeds, and backed by an all-fiber network. Fiber. It's buried under the ground. I mean, you don't have to worry about a storm coming knocking the power lines down. Let's Rev. Listen, more than 70,000 Louisiana homeowners and business owners trust Rev. You should as well. REV. 90 years of local experience. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Here on the Gulf Coast, a wave says a lot. It says hello. It says thanks. It says we care. Shouldn't banking feel the same way? A friendly wave. A familiar face.
Hey, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this.
Tell you every day, better coverage for less money. And man, my friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana are crushing it for Louisianians on their auto insurance right now. Listen, if you have not had anyone shop for your auto insurance lately, you got to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. My goodness. They got some top-rated companies, Geico, Progressive. They're doing awesome work right now. This was an amazing story that I heard. They wrote one last week, saved the client $2,911 annually. They had a high auto rate with State Farm. They smashed it with Geico. They had another one save $1,476 annually with Progressive. They had Allstate and switched. Y'all, I tell you all the time, if you're just auto-renewing your insurance, man, you're probably overpaying and you're underinsured. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana help. LAinsurance.net.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, we're about to punch the clock here on a Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. But before we do that, we got to get our betting fix. Where's the action at tonight? It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
All right, we got another six-pack of picks tonight in Major League Baseball from the Otter. Otter, how's it going? Otter, are you there? Otter? Turn him up, Luke. Turn him up a little bit, please. All right, there we go. I got you now, Otter. I got you now.
Okay.
Six-pack of picks, Major League Baseball.
All right, let's get to it. Milwaukee's been good to us. 5-game set at St. Louis and El Central matchup. They won all three, and then they busted out. After winning a couple of close games, one-run games, they won about 8 last night. We're good on them. Again, pitching matchup is favorable to the Brewers. Brewers minus, they've been climbing up. It's minus 150 earlier. Tampa Bay was good to us last night as well. That got 2 winners last night. And another favorable pitching matchup. McClanahan for Tampa Bay has been light out. Garrett Cole's been kind of iffy. After his first 2 starts back off the IL, he was really good, but it's kind of flattened out a little bit. Tampa Bay at home, where it was so tough. Minus 110, soft price there. Detroit is a team that's kind of creeping back a little bit in that American League Central. Still 6.5 games back, but this pitcher that's going for them tonight has been on fire against the Oakland A's at home. Springs has had his rough go as of late. Detroit minus 137. Seattle, we lost on them last night. We're back on them tonight. And their pitcher that's going tonight, Kirby, has been one of the top pitchers in Major League Baseball the last 5 starts or so. We won with them last week. We'll be on them again tonight. Even though we lost last night, even tempted to take a little money line with Seattle against the Marlins. We lost that one extra innings last night. White Sox against the Red Sox. White Sox got their ace pitcher going tonight. Minus 112 at home against the improving Red Sox. You know that, Musso. But
easy.
White Sox, they are improving. They're playing better baseball. So,
they do this every year right before the All-Star break, Otter. Easy.
Okay, well, they're playing better, as I said. So, but White Sox are really tough at home as well. They've been one of the real stories in Major League Baseball this year. We've been riding them a lot because they're still catching up to their prices with the market and also the odds makers. White Sox minus 112. Then a money line, I'm sorry, not a money line parlay, but a over. The Dodgers lost last night. Look for them to break out the bats tonight. Colorado's going against the Sasaki, really got smacked around last week as well. So two really suspect pitchers. We need to get, until Sasaki turns this thing around, we're going to go over against him. Look at the Dodger bats to come alive after a loss last night. First one in a long time against Colorado. They won 22 of their last 24 against Colorado at home. Lost 4-3 last night. Taking the Dodgers, Rockies over 10.
All right, Otter, there's a couple of these that are in progress that have moved I want to ask you about. Otter, you got me?
Yeah, I'm with
you. The Rays are at minus 128 now. Do you like that price still? They're in action?
Yes, I'm good with that.
And then the Mariners are now $1.29. I'm assuming you're still good with that?
Yes.
All right, I'm not going to ask you about the Detroit Tigers who are minus 236 because I already know you're not good with that.
Oh, we had a good start there, huh?
Yeah, well, it's
did we get a run yet?
Not a run yet, but it's scoreless. But I'm assuming they have runners all over the base paths in that one. Let's see. I can get a quick. Yeah, they have a runner at second and one out in that. So
okay, all right.
If they don't score, maybe if they don't score, maybe come back and look at it. Where are y'all tomorrow, Otter?
Original walk-ons on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
All right, y'all get by and see Hanny and Out live at lunch, 11 to 1 over there at the OG walk-on. You can listen to it, of course, on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Otter, we appreciate it as always, man. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, good luck, Moose.
Good luck to you as well. There are your Otter locks here on this Wednesday edition of AFR Brain Fart. Thought we were on Thursday there for a moment. Got ahead of myself. We are not. It is Wednesday. And what a great Wednesday it was. Before we get out of here, Matt, a word about Arco?
Love telling you about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. That's Arco Power Systems. We talk about generators a lot in Louisiana, especially all along the Gulf Coast, where we're sort of in this storm belt right here in the Gulf Coast. Well, of course, a lot of people have home standby generators. When we talk about Arco Power Systems, these are not home standby generators. This is industrial generator power. This is for your business. I mean, just think about it. When the power goes out, be it a hurricane, an ice storm, snow like we had last year, power goes out. What do you do with your business? Well, being offline is not an option. That's why you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. Just look at all the locations. Baton Rouge, Bossier, Harvey, Lake Charles, Mandeville, Mobile, LaPorte, Texas, San Antonio, Little Rock, Houston, Dallas. They're everywhere. So if you're a business and you need standby power for your business, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com.
All right, that's just about going to do it here for us. Great show, man. Thank you to Dalton Wasserman for hopping on. Thank you to Bino Watters for hopping on. Really enjoyed that conversation. If you missed anything, you can catch it on demand. AFR On Demand, brought to you by Brett Goff. Just search after further review, AFR LSU, AFR Saints, all that on YouTube. Be back here again, 3 o'clock tomorrow for a Thursday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and Joe Morales and Trent Davis and our whole staff. We appreciate everyone so much who's giving us the opportunity. Our commercial roofing manager, Matt Pearson, sent us all a text that we were just awarded a large commercial roofing job today, and they heard us talking about it. And yes, of course, at your home, any roof repair, replacement, we love to help you out. We can install gutters for you. We do soft wash, do all of it. But I want to remind you that we are a commercial roofing company as well. So if your commercial building needs a new roof or repair, you have any issues whatsoever, we have the best guy. We went and scoured the world and found Matt Pearson in Florida, and we brought him to Baton Rouge. I'm convinced there's not a soul alive that knows more about commercial roofing than Matt Pearson. So if your commercial building is having any roof issues, roof repair, replacement, or you just need options, trust me, have a conversation with Matt Pearson. We'd love to help you out. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.